Welcome to episode 3 of the Elite Sports Podcast. I'm Michael McKenzie, as always, joined by my fellow colleagues, Hunter McCoskey, Tyler Weiss, Andrew DeAngelis, and Nick Matro. I'm going to get it right this time. Nick, we're not going to discuss why we are very angry at you right now. So how's everybody else doing?
I'm doing fine.
I'm fine.
I'm
I
good.
feel nice. I feel nice and clean right now.
Thank you so much.
Oh, God.
All right, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. And on the day we're recording this is the big news of the day. This is probably going to come out a couple of days later, so it's going to be technically somewhat late news by the time most of our listeners are, in fact, listening to this. Dwayne Haskins has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers on a one-year reserve/futures contract. So it's not a real true contract, but for the Steelers, they get another quarterback. They're going to have two quarterbacks truly battling, because we all know Ben's going to be the starter next year. There ain't no way Mason and Haskins touch the field. I think we can all agree on that, barring injury. But we'll start with Nick, because I know you got some pretty strong feelings about this, and then we'll go.
I've rethought my evaluation on this.
Okay, good.
But when I first saw him, like, all right, someone give me some pain meds because I ain't gonna take this anymore. But then I
think you were.
I reevaluated the situation. I know he's a bad quarterback. He did come from he didn't come from a very good setting in the football team. I'm not as opposed to it anymore, because I know he's probably never going to touch the field, and he's basically like her QB3/4. So it doesn't really matter, because even if Ben retires, you know that Mason Rudolph's going to be stepping up to the plate, and Haskins either going to be below or above Dobbs. So it doesn't really matter. Most likely he'll probably go to a new team in the next year or two, but it's a better environment for him to stay in. He can learn stuff under Ben, a better coaching staff, basically better everything in Pittsburgh than what he had in Washington.
All right, so you said you wanted pain meds earlier. You texted in the group chat, Mike, do you have any illegal drugs on you right now? I need ketamine.
Yeah, I wanted ketamine.
You were on something else. I'm a Steelers fan, and I'm gonna say right now, I think everybody knows I'm an Ohio State.
Don't pull up the Haskins jersey. No,
I got the Haskins jersey, baby.
No,
I'm probably gonna get a Steelers one too if he ends up staying after this year. Again, might not happen. But I feel like it's pretty low risk, high reward personally. Worst case scenario, all right, it doesn't pan out. He's your QB3 this year, and then just let him walk when the season's over. Best case scenario, he shows up, shows out, and proves that he's better than Mason Rudolph, and could be the starting quarterback in a new system of offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for the love of God, if they hire Hugh Jackson, I might be.
Yeah!
I'm gonna jump out my window. It should be Matt Canada or Pep Hamilton.
I don't need pain meds.
It's
not going to be Pep Hamilton.
It's probably not going to be Pep Hamilton. I'm losing hope on that happening. I really wanted to, but it's probably not.
Well, yeah, because you already know the Chargers are going to be hiring Jason Garrett. So
yeah,
that didn't happen.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
Brandon Staley is just Jason Garrett undercovered. I think we all know that.
What?
You can hear him going like this.
Garrett undercovered. He was clapping on his way to the podium.
Did you not see the press conference? Did you not see that?
No, I saw the whole thing.
So, we all
and I'm pretty sure everybody can agree with me here that was Jason Garrett.
That was Jason Garrett undercovered.
I am also legally blind, so I might not be able to see. No, I'm kidding. I'm not legally blind. Not yet.
Right. But yeah, low risk, high reward. He can prove is better than Mason Rudolph. And apparently they're waiting to announce Matt Canada until they get their O-line coach.
I want Matt Canada, please.
It's probably going to be Matt Canada. I think we all know it's going to be Matt Canada. The Steelers never really go out of house. Yeah, Matt Canada is still a relatively new name. Last year was his first year in the system in Pittsburgh. Really didn't get to instill his playbook. So he's going to have an entirely new playbook, new offense filled with a lot of motions, a lot of misdirections and confusions for defense. I can't wait to see it, to be honest. If it is Matt Canada, again, don't jinx it, because if it's Hugh Jackson, again, I'm jumping out this window. But I feel like it's a low risk, high reward, great move by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's go to Hunter here. What are your thoughts?
Oh God, no.
At first I thought it was a terrible signing, but then I did a little more research and I didn't realize how bad the contract was. But maybe if Ben does end up retiring after the season, I don't know. Then maybe he might even step up and get a starting job back. Who knows? But obviously, I don't think Ben's going to play. I think if Ben does play, it's going to be one more year and that's it. But I think this is a good move by the Steelers because, they're in need of a quarterback. for the future, so of their team, and obviously, it's a low pay and you might get a high reward, but if it doesn't pan out, you didn't lose that much money. So at the same time, if you Steelers fans are probably happy with this choice because it could be a good reward if he ends up turning out well and maybe he might get the starting job for the Steelers.
All right. I mean, I agree with that. Tyler?
I just gotta say, cue the Stephen A. Smith voice. I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. All right. I just did not really see how this signing had that big of an impact on the team whatsoever. I mean, Dwayne Haskins, he was in Washington. He was immature and totally not really a good quarterback at all whatsoever. Probably statistically one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, if not the worst. And I just don't see him ever competing for the starting job in Pittsburgh with his contract and everything. I just don't see how it's going to have that big of an impact on the Steelers.
I mean, he's not competing this year, not with Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, that's for sure. I feel like it could be a competition if he stays in 2022. Him and Mason Rudolph. I mean, I think that could be a competition. Andrew, I mean, you're an Ohio State fan. We got to witness one of the greatest seasons in Ohio State history for a quarterback. Dwayne Haskins to the Steelers. What are your thoughts?
I still see a lot of potential in him because of how good he was at Ohio State. And, even with the football team, he was not very good as an NFL QB, but he wasn't really appreciated there. Gruden didn't want him even on the team. So, he was kind of dissed on the football team last year. And this year, he didn't really get a role. He got cut. He was immature. And I think that, even though it's a small futures deal, I mean, he could really turn his career around with the Steelers.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like the culture change, the cultural reset, if you will, in Pittsburgh, it's a winning culture compared to a culture in Washington, which, let's be honest, it ain't a winning culture. I won't necessarily label it a losing culture, but I just feel like that from that aspect, Washington wasn't a great fit at all. Now he's moving to a winning culture. In that regard, pretty similar to Ohio State's winning culture, and we saw maturity of a great quarterback, we saw the talent of a great quarterback, and we saw the potential to be an NFL great. I mean, he broke the Big Ten single season passing yard and passing touchdown record. I think he broke every single possible Ohio State passing record for a single season and a single game. I mean, he showed a lot of promise in college, and if he can get back to that, if we can develop the maturity again, and he can get back to studying film and wanting to be showing the talent to be a great NFL quarterback, I feel like this could be fantastic for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now we're going to move on to possible landing spots and our predictions for Deshaun Watson. Where's he going to go? Because, I mean, he's getting traded. Let's be honest. Nick, we'll start off. Where do you see Deshaun Watson landing? And unfortunately, it can't be Pittsburgh anymore.
I wanted it to be Pittsburgh, but it's not. There's so many different teams he could go to. If I'm being honest, I think the team I'd want to see him on the most would be the Carolina Panthers, because the Panthers, they thought Teddy Bridgewater would be the answer. He's not. He's more of a game manager than an actual NFL good-time quarterback. I think the Panthers' offense could be one of the best in the league if they get Deshaun Watson. Between him, he's his passing targets in DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, with also one of the best running backs in the league, Christian McCaffrey.
Uh-oh.
You still there, Nick? I mean, you're frozen.
Oh, there he is.
We can't hear you. You kind of cut out.
He's mad now.
Mad.
Did my whole thing cut out?
The end of it, right after you talked about Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, well, again, if they can get Christian McCaffrey, they have DJ Moore, they have Robbie Anderson, they have Curtis Samuel, they get Deshaun Watson, the offense can be scary. All they need is a tight end to complete that, and maybe a little better bit of an O-line. Other than that, it looks pretty solid to me. But he couldn't have gone anywhere, maybe like the 49ers or like the Patriots or something. I don't want to see him with the Patriots. I don't want to see him with the Patriots dynasty, please no.
Nope. All right, Andrew, we'll do this. I mean, I think Nick said it pretty good. I think he thinks the Panthers are the best landing spot for him. Where is the best fit for Deshaun Watson? And then quick prediction about where he will go, because those could be.
It's the Giants.
I mean, that could happen, but I don't see it really happening. I think that this trade for anyone who tries to make it, it's going to be really hard on their future because of you're going to have to give up probably some draft picks and maybe a couple players. So, Deshaun Watson wanting to get traded has clearly been expressed. The Jets have been brought up, the Panthers, the 49ers have been brought up. Where I think he'll be traded, I think he'll get traded to the 49ers. I don't think that's the best landing spot for him, though. I think the best landing spot, like Nick said, is the Panthers. They have the most weapons around him. Two good receivers, even though Curtis Samuel is going to be an upcoming free agent, so I don't think he'll stay there. But, you got all the weapons around him, McCaffrey and Mike Davis too. So I think the Panthers would be great for him.
All right, Tyler, where is the best landing spot for Deshaun Watson? Where will he go?
All right, so looking at cap space wise, the teams that are looking at cap space wise, the teams that are most likely to land him are New England, Indianapolis, New York Jets, Washington, or Miami. And I personally think the best landing spot is Indianapolis. All right,
you can't go there. They won't trade intro division.
All right, but I know it's not realistic, but I truly think it is the best landing spot for him. And the reason why is because, that this year they were already competitors in their division in the AFC South, and it's looking like that won't change as long as they get a good quarterback. And with the recent news of Phillip Rivers retiring, even though we saw average at best quarterback play from him this year, I truly think if they get some really good quarterback, and they've got some rising star weapons, they've got Trey Burton, Michael Pittman Jr., I truly think Indianapolis is the best place to go. But where I think he will go is probably Miami or somewhere. They'll probably trade him for Tua or something.
All right. We'll go with Hunter. I'll go last on this one. Hunter, does he best fit, and where will he go in the end?
Where do I think he's going to go? Oh, I think he's going to go to Washington because Washington's cap space is unbelievable, and to be honest with you, Washington has a top 5 defense, and I've been saying this all along. Washington just needs a quarterback. If that team can just get a quarterback, they can easily just win the NFC East and maybe even win a playoff game because they have a really good offensive line, and they have wide receivers around them with Terry McLaurin, and they also have a really underrated tight end in Logan Thomas. So that's my prediction where he's going to go. But a really good
Taylor Heineke is the GOAT.
That's what I was going to say. Did you forget about a man named Taylor Heineke?
Taylor Heineke, the best QB in the league, baby.
Down.
Taylor Heineke is a top 5 QB. Prove me wrong.
What are we talking? All time?
All time. He might be a little bit below. He's probably like I'd probably put him like a little bit below Joe Montana, but he's pretty close.
Dude, he has more playoff starts than Daniel Jones. He has more playoff touchdowns than Daniel Jones.
He kind of does because Daniel Jones is trash, Andrew.
All right, so Hunter, are you saying Washington is both the best fit and where he will go?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. I'm going to have 2 different answers for this one. I think he goes to San Francisco. I think we've seen a willingness in the past for them to, in recent past, of them to trade first-round picks. We saw them swap with the Buccaneers this year, move down a couple of spots to let the Bucs get up and take their new offensive tackle, and I believe it was Tristan Wirfs. I think the capability to trade first-round picks, the willingness to do so, I think that San Francisco is going to end up landing him, and they're probably going to become immediate Super Bowl contenders. I think the best fit is in Miami, actually. I think he's got all around, not just offensively, but the entire team more surrounding him. I mean, you have a top-scoring defense in the league from 2020, and we've seen Deshaun Watson with mediocre to above average at best weapons on offense. He can still do amazing things. That was what he had in the 2020 season. I mean, Will Fuller was his wide receiver 1, and then he got busted for PED use. I mean, and then he still did great on the final 6 games of the season with Brandon Cooks, that QT dude that fumbled away 2 games. I mean, above average at best weapons, and that's generous. He's going to have above average to mediocre, worst weapons in Miami, and then you have that defense to complement what's going to be an insanely good offense. I think Miami would overtake Buffalo within 1 year as the top team in the AFC East if they could get Deshaun Watson. But I don't think it's going to happen because apparently the Houston Texans are not high on Tua at all. They actually pretty much hate him. They do not want to trade Deshaun Watson for draft picks and Tua because it's not going to work out for the Texans. But that's going to wrap it up. The Deshaun Watson segment. Next, we're going to each go over the best head coaching hire personally that we've seen so far. We'll start with Hunter. What's been your favorite head coaching hiring of the coaching carousel, coaching madness?
To be honest with you, this one's difficult because there's actually a lot of good hirings, obviously, over the past week. But if I were to choose one, it would have to be between probably Salah and Staley because I think those were two of the best. But
Because Staley's undercover Jason Garrett.
No.
Tyler, it is. He is.
No. I
Yes,
refuse to accept it. I refuse.
if I had to go with one, I'd probably say Salah because Salah is just. I think Salah might turn this Jets team around depending on how their draft goes. But I think Salah is a better defensive coordinator than Staley. But that's in my opinion. But obviously, Salah didn't really have that much to work with though, and he still had a pretty darn good defense if you were to say with all these injuries and stuff. But I think the Jets made an unbelievable hire, and maybe that's going to be the future head coach for the next few years. So hopefully, if the Jets do good in the draft, then maybe they can be a playoff team in a few years.
All right, Andrew, best head coaching hiring that you've seen so far.
Even though I'm an Ohio State fan, I don't love the Urban Meyer hiring. I don't know how he really perform as an NFL coach, especially with potentially Trevor Lawrence. But my favorite has to go to Brandon Staley with the Chargers.
Yes, sir.
They struggle on defense a lot. And, with Derwin James coming back, I think that he could honestly turn them around because the Rams were very good on defense. And, that offense has already got a good foundation with Herbert and Keenan Allen. So I like the Chargers.
All right, Nick, what's been your favorite head coaching hiring of the offseason?
I've been kind of torn on this one. Again, with what Hunter said, I kind of agree with him. I honestly think it's Salah. He is going to – I think he's going to turn this Jets team around. The Jets have a plethora of picks to use, especially from Seattle overpaying for Jamal Adams. And now the Jets have, what is it, like around maybe the 18th pick in the draft? What?
I think it's 25 or something like that.
Well, whatever it is, they have another good pick. They can help address the Jets' needs. I think they play it smart. If I were them, honestly, for the smartest move, I'd take Sewell instead of taking Fields at 2. But honestly, Salah, he's a great hire. I think he can turn the Jets around. It's a much-needed improvement over Adam Gase. I think the Jets team, that's you look just like him, Andrew. I think it's a much-needed improvement. I don't think they're going anywhere this year, but I think in a few years' notice they could be like reaching around 9-7 if they do good in a few years.
All right, Ty, what's your favorite head coaching hiring so far, and why is it Brandon Staley?
Don't ask him.
Yeah, obviously it was going to be Brandon Staley, and don't just call me biased because I'm a Chargers fan, but I got to say this, okay? You can agree with me that the Chargers head coaching job was not easily, but the most attractive coaching job out there. They already had
that or Jacksonville.
Yeah, they already have everything in place, and that I just love the Brandon Staley hire for 2 reasons. One, because our defense obviously was the main point of struggle last season, and 2, Staley can bring together a really good staff, and it's already working out. He's already gotten some good hiring, such as hold on, let me see if I can find it. Jay Rogers. No. Jay Rogers, the Bears defensive line coach, who would likely be the Chargers defensive coordinator. And we're already interviewing people like Jonathan Gannon for our defensive coordinator job, who is the Indianapolis defensive backs coach. And Indianapolis secondary did really well last year. And today, Brandon Staley, in his press conference, he said a lot on how he can transform this talent. And there are concerns with him being a defensive-minded head coach, but he refers to himself as an offensive-minded head coach. And he says he doesn't want to impose a system on Justin Herbert. So I do not see any struggle with Justin Herbert in the next few years. He's just going to build the system around his strengths, which I feel like is what Herbert needs and is what Anthony Lynn would not provide. And so that's why I absolutely love this hire for the Chargers, and I could not be more happy to be a Chargers fan right now.
All right, I'm torn between. Call me biased all you want. I'm torn between either Urban Meyer or Robert Saleh. I'm gonna go with Robert Saleh, but I like with Urban Meyer hire a lot because the amount of, I think they have $75 million in cap space. It's the top in the league. They have the number 1 pick in the draft. Urban Meyer gets to choose his quarterback, and then he gets nearly complete roster control, considering how many open spots and empty spots in the roster that they have to fill, and considering that the cap space they have to do just that. And I don't think Shad Khan is going to end up keeping the roster control. He's going to hand it over to Urban Meyer immediately. And as a college coach, as someone in Meyer who had the roster control, and that was the main reason why he was successful, having that roster control in Jacksonville and having the ability to have that roster control and get the guys that you want on your team, I think that's great for Meyer. But Robert Saleh, I mean, he's a defensive mastermind, and the Jets had a weakness on defense. He gets to choose whether he wants to keep Sam Darnold or if he wants to go with a guy like Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, maybe even trade down for Trey Lance and get a package for somebody like the Bengals to move up to the number 2 pick and take Sewell. But I mean, he gets to choose who his quarterback is. He's got some weapons at the wide receiver position. He can continue to build that offensive line around Mekhi Becton, who was easily the best rookie offensive lineman of the NFL season. I'm sorry. The Giants fan is raising his eyebrows. You had Andrew Thomas on your offensive line.
Tristan Wirfs is extremely better than Mekhi Becton.
I agree.
I think I take.
No, Tristan Wirfs is better.
I think Mekhi.
Who the Giants should have taken.
I think the Giants should have taken Isaiah Simmons. That's just me. But I mean, let's be honest. Mekhi Becton's still insanely good. That's an A+ pick at the current moment. I'd say that's an A+ pick. He's been really good. Build that offensive line around Becton, and build a defense that Saleh built a defense from the ground up with San Francisco, and it was insanely good. It led San Francisco to a Super Bowl. No reason to think that he can't do the same with the New York Jets. Again, building that offensive line, choosing the quarterback, and then he's probably going to have to choose a new running back because, let's be honest, Frank Gore ain't going to be holding up too much longer. But I really like the Saleh hire for the Jets. But then again, I still really like that Urban Meyer hire, despite the skepticism everybody has about him transferring from the college level to the NFL level. We're going to take a quick little break here. When we come back, we'll be recapping the divisional round and then previewing the conference championship round. Stay tuned on the Elite Sports Podcast. All right, welcome back to the Elite Sports Podcast. We're just going to get right into it. Nick, sometimes I just okay. We're going to get into our divisional round recap. We're going to go through game by game. First, we'll start Rams Packers. I don't really think there's too much to unpack here other than the Packers are unstoppable. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. And Jalen Ramsey, when guarding Devontae Adams, yes, Aaron Rodgers went 4 for 4, but it was only 28 yards and a touchdown, and it was a touchdown on a bad defensive play. I mean, that was just a great offensive call. And then I think it was, I forget who the slot corner was, but he was supposed to actually fly out on Devontae Adams, and it wasn't supposed to be Ramsey going all the way to the other side of the end zone and then back. So, but I still think Jalen Ramsey did a good job. But I mean, that Packers offense, even though they went up against an injured Aaron Donald, that team is looking insanely unstoppable right now. 32 points on the best defense in the league. Andrew, thoughts? Rams Packers.
Aaron Rodgers looks unstoppable. The divisional, the conference championship is going to be very good with him and Tom Brady battling it out. One of the vets is going to go to the Super Bowl and take on one of the young bucks. So, I mean, this game was really no contest from the beginning. I mean, with Aaron Donald being out, the Rams D-line was a non-factor, even with the Packers not having Bakhtiari. I mean, I don't think they had any sacks, but maybe one or two. I mean, they really didn't show up on defense as they were all year. So the Packers just took that one pretty soundly.
Hunter, thoughts on the Rams and Packers?
Honestly, people are I've been looking at a lot of comments between the Ramsey and Adams matchup. But to be honest with you, Ramsey pretty much did a good job locking him up. He only let him 4 catches, like 30 yards and a touchdown, but that touchdown wasn't his fault because it was just a great play call. And his other cornerbacks were supposed to switch off of him and cover Adams, but that was just an unbelievable play call. But obviously the Rams offense didn't really do much, and Jair Alexander just, oh my goodness, he played unbelievable that game. Holy smokes. But besides that, the Rams really couldn't stop the Packers offense. They couldn't stop Rodgers. Like, they held Adams, but they couldn't cover anyone else because they were so focused on Adams that they really didn't focus on Lazar or St. Brown or Valdez Stanley. But besides that, Aaron Jones had a good day too. So, but this is going to be a very great matchup for the NFC Championship. And I'd say to see 2 older veteran quarterbacks fight out to see who goes to Super Bowl 55.
All right, Nick, your thoughts on the Rams and Packers divisional round game?
All right, before I start, I'm just going to do my Jalen Ramsey impression for you guys. Just give me a sec. Okay, but statistically what I thought about the matchup, the Packers just dominated. Aaron Donald, since he was out again, the Rams defense just looked terrible. Yes, it's the Packers with that amazing offense, but the Rams couldn't contain them. Yes, Jalen Ramsey did a good job of containing Devontae Adams, but he had a few temper tantrums mid-game. Aaron Rodgers took the opportunities he had for every part of the game. Jared Goff looked terrible as always. He's a bad quarterback. And the Packers just showed they were the better team, and this matchup is going to be really good to see.
I'm going to be honest. I hate Jared Goff. I mean, he was semi-impressive. I'm not saying he's a good quarterback. He didn't play bad, though, against the Packers. He's
not bad. As good as Taylor Heineke.
Hell, that's for sure. Nobody's as good as Taylor Heineke. Tyler, you get the final say on Rams-Packers.
I just gotta say this. As me growing up a Packers fan, I was watching this game, because the Packers are my second favorite team, and they looked unstoppable. Most of the season, they've looked pretty much unstoppable. Same with Aaron Rodgers, who is undoubtedly the MVP this year. And about the Devontae Adams Jalen Ramsey matchup, I don't think either one won that matchup. Yeah, of course, Jalen Ramsey allowed 100% catch rate. But, the thing is, Devontae was only targeted 4 times. And really, he did a pretty good job covering Devontae. And, yeah, he allowed that 1 touchdown. But other than that, I would not say Jalen got burnt at all. And, the Packers offense just looked great against an amazing Rams defense that just lost their defensive coordinator. And their defense could experience some significant regression next year. But other than that, yeah, the Packers just basically dominated.
All right, now we're going to move on. I know Hunter's pretty happy about this game, and as a Steelers fan and a resident Lamar Jackson hater, and apparently I'm known as the biggest one, I don't care. I hate the man. I'm a Steelers fan. I got reason to. But Hunter, Bills, Ravens, Lamar realized a little too late that he had to go number 2, and it cost Baltimore. Not really, though, because we probably would have given up another pick 6. Hunter, Bills, Ravens, we're going to give you the first word on this as our resident bandwagon Bills fan.
I have to say, it was a pretty boring game. If you guys agree with me, I think so. I think a lot of people agree. Because everyone thought it was going to be a super high-scoring affair. Obviously, we were, just shocked with how defensive it was. But, obviously it was such a very windy game with the weather, so that definitely took effect too, because deep balls weren't even close, missed field goals I've never seen Tucker miss 2 field goals in a game before. That was
the first time in his career that he had missed 2 field goals that were less than 50 yards.
Yeah, he was looking like Cody Parkey out there, but my God. But
it hits the upright again.
Yeah, but yeah. Besides that, same with Bass. He missed 2 field goals too. But you start to give it up. The Ravens played good defense because they only held Buffalo to 10 points. So the Bills, though, we're saying that, they don't have a good rush defense. Well, they just stopped the number one rushing offense in the league. So, and they just played unbelievable defense. And, that Teron Johnson pick six was the reason they sealed this game. And, they just locked up Lamar. Lamar couldn't do anything on offense. And especially, they were driving down the field, but when they got to, close into Bill's territory, they weren't able to do much, and that's a reason why playing in bad weather, you gotta change up your game plan, and the Bills did that, and they ended up winning this game because of it.
All right, I know Nick and I share very similar feelings on Lamar Jackson, so go ahead and rag on him, Nick. I know you want to.
Hey, Andrew, where's that Lamar jersey, buddy, huh? Like I said, I don't care if he won a game. Lamar's playoff narrative continues, baby. He's 1-3 in the playoffs. What a loser! Imagine going 1-3.
Imagine losing to the Browns.
Dude, you didn't even make the playoffs. Get out of here. Imagine having to rely on Doug Peterson to make the playoffs. Imagine having to do that.
And imagine having Daniel Jones as your quarterback too. Worst quarterback in the league. He's even worse than Mitchell Trubisky. You know what I mean? More.
Hey, I'm back. I didn't start. I didn't. I wasn't done talking about Lamar yet.
Yeah, go talk about Lamar.
Yeah, he's trash. No, in all seriousness, no. The Ravens played like doo doo. That pick six basically sealed the game. The Bills' defense is good. They're not that good, but they made the Ravens look like a JV football team. I mean. Yeah, the wind was going. Justin Tucker usually never misses, which is extremely rare. He missed 2 when he was one of the best kickers in the league. But still, the Ravens, they didn't. Everyone was expecting him to put up a better game against Buffalo because Buffalo is an absolute horrendous run defense, and Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins could have ran right through that. But they didn't. They played terribly. After the pick six, Lamar went down. Then you have Lamar version 2 coming in. Ran a few times, threw a few good passes, then sucked the rest of the time. But yeah, the Bills are heading to the AFC Championship.
Andrew, I know you like Lamar.
Put on the jersey, Andrew.
Yeah, put
on the jersey.
Put on the jersey and try to defend that horrendous show that he put on.
Go get your jersey. Go get it.
I don't have it right now, but
no franchise. What was that?
Go get it.
Okay, now that it's I just like to say that the Ravens offense needs so much help around Lamar because that offensive line probably put up one of the worst showings I've ever seen. Patrick McCarry might be the worst center in the league. I mean, there were so many bad snaps. And the one that cost them the game, I think, mostly when Lamar got injured. And, I feel like Lamar definitely needs receiver help too. Marquise Brown's solid, but other than that, he really doesn't have anything.
Mark Andrews.
The Ravens, in terms of wide receivers, obviously Mark Andrews is great.
Willie Snead.
Willie Snead is old as balls. They really do need some help. I think picking up a guy like Allen Robinson or Kenny Golladay could really help out Lamar. Just giving him that big target to throw to. But the Ravens got obliterated by the Bills. It seemed, even though they only lost by 2 possessions, I just don't think that was a very good game.
All right, I'll take the final word on this. Ty, thoughts on Ravens Bills?
Okay, Buffalo's worst enemy was the weather. You just saw all those deep balls by Josh Allen that were going off to the side, and Justin Tucker and Tyler Bass too. Both, I think, are really good kickers. They just were missing all night, and it was obvious that the wind definitely did have a factor. But other than that, Lamar did have a pretty poor playoff showing, but I wouldn't keep continuing the narrative that he can't.
I would.
Okay, but not just yet. He's still young, all right? He still has a lot of years left in the league. So I would not keep that narrative. That's just my take on it. And the Ravens, they do need to draft an offensive line in round 1. They really do need to First off, their offensive line is very injured, but if not, they should draft a wide receiver because let's be real here. Hollywood is not really that good of a wide receiver. On any other team, he'd be a wide receiver 3 at best.
I mean, I'd agree with you on that. And for the Ravens, you got somewhat of a stacked receiving core heading into this draft. I don't know if you'd call it a receiving core, but the wide receivers in this class are pretty plentiful. There's a lot of talented guys like Jalen Waddle that might slip in the draft, but more notably up in the draft, Devontae Smith and Jamar Chase. The question is, are the Ravens willing to trade up and get a younger wide receiver number 1 for Lamar to try to stick it out with Lamar for as long as they want to continue to go in that path as a franchise quarterback? I think they will. I saw this comparison. I heard this comparison between Giannis and Lamar. Amazing in the regular season. MVP caliber performances, get in the playoffs, and they cannot do anything. They cannot get to the championship. They continuously underperform. And at this stage in their careers, again, both players very young, a lot of years left to change that narrative. But at this stage in their career, they have to get something done in the playoffs, and they cannot get it done. I wouldn't trust either of those guys to lead me to a conference championship, let alone the championship, let alone get a ring and win it all. But I mean, Lamar Jackson just didn't play well, and everybody wants to point to, oh well, Justin Tucker missed 2 kicks. Hunter said it. Tyler Bass missed 2 kicks as well, so you can shut up with that. But if you're supposed to be an insanely good quarterback, why not punch it into the end zone and complete drives instead of leaving it in the hands of your kicker in very unfavorable conditions to kick? When maybe the best kicker of all time cannot make 2 field goals because of the weather conditions, that's how you know you have to score touchdowns to win a game. But I mean, again, things can change. Lamar Jackson can turn that narrative around. A lot of people thought he did against Tennessee. I wanted to see what he would do against Buffalo before I completely turned around on that narrative, and then terrible against Buffalo. But yeah, Ravens fans and Lamar D-Riders are going to continue to give him all the excuses for why things went wrong, and they can continue to do that. They're either going to be proven right and they're going to shove it in our faces, or they are going to have it shoved into their faces if Lamar cannot turn things around in the postseason. But we're going to move on.
Before we move on, just a quick announcement. You probably already know this, but it's just been said that the Steelers will be having an interview with QB coach Pep Hamilton.
I just want to say real quick that I think Lamar is slowly becoming like the Bryce Harper of the NFL.
Hey, Tyler, did you hear?
Yeah, I heard that.
That's why he shut up.
Yeah, it says, I'm told Chargers QB coach Pep Hamilton has been informed the Steelers are going to bring him in for an interview for the offensive coordinator job per source.
They requested an interview. They're not interviewing.
Well, I've heard now from many people. I've heard from many people now that he's going to be coming in for an interview.
He is going to. They are requested an interview, and he will be coming in for an interview. So Ty, you better get a little nervous because that dream scenario might just be happening. So we'll talk if they get him in for an interview and things go well, and there's reports that he becomes a front runner. We'll talk about that next week because
and then the Steelers will get Justin Herbert.
If the Steelers get Justin Herbert, I would go insane. That would be amazing.
Happening.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is happening.
We have Dwayne the Goat Haskins.
That they're building the offense around his strengths.
Shut up, Tyler. We have
20 first-round picks.
Wait. We have Dwayne Lapdance Haskins, and we're going to win the Super Bowl this next year.
Hey, you know the strip club business in Pittsburgh always is booming. Everything in Pittsburgh is business booming. All right, we're going to move on. Next game, I believe that was Chiefs-Browns. Tell me the Browns got screwed all you want. I'm going to lead this off as a Steelers fan and, again, a Browns hater. And I do not care that the Steelers beat the Browns. I will be smoking on that Cleveland pack. I've been smoking on it since Monday, and Nick knows this. I do not care that they beat us in the first round. I do not care that they had 2 wins over us and we only had 1 this season. I am sorry. I will continue to slander the Cleveland Browns. I am sorry. Andrew, what do you got to say about this? Because we kicked your asses week 1 too.
You just said the Steelers beat the Browns, but that didn't happen.
I'm sorry. Everybody knows what I meant. The Browns beat the Steelers twice. I know what happened this season. Everybody knows what happened this season. I do not care. I will continue to slander the Cleveland Browns. But tell me that got screwed by the helmet-to-helmet call. You want that was a no call. I will agree. That was a horrible missed call. But Cleveland was able to stay in that game after that helmet-to-helmet call. You want to know why? Because Patrick Mahomes left the game. He was gashing that Browns defense. He only had a few drives to really get the ball down the field, but he was doing it at a very successful rate. I think that if Patrick Mahomes stays in that game, the Chiefs have 30 plus points and it's not 22-17. But I mean, yeah, Cleveland's going to continue to hold on to that missed call. And as a Steelers fan, I probably would too, even if Patrick Mahomes went out against the Chiefs. So semi feel bad for Cleveland, semi not, because they got a gift by Patrick Mahomes going out of the game. And I know I think everybody here heard that horrible Colin Cowherd take. Postpone the AFC Championship until Patrick Mahomes is okay. That's horrendous. No, but we'll start off with Ty here. Ty, thoughts on Chiefs Browns? Even though you're trying to cope with the fact that you might be losing Pep Hamilton.
Okay. Thanks for reminding me about that. But Chad Henne is the GOAT. No
Anything is possible.
Chad Henne is the GOAT. All right. 17-yard scramble on 3rd and 18. And then next thing you know, dumping it off to Tyreek Hill. Tell me who can do that? Who? Chad Henne.
Taylor Heineke.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But, okay. All jokes aside, the Browns defense looked horrendous out there. The guy who fumbled in the end zone, can't remember his name. I think it's Rashard Higgins or whatever that. Yeah, that guy is, as Guru Griff would say, a fucking bozo.
Language.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I really don't care.
Yeah, but anyways, the Browns look like the Browns out there. I do think they'll be good next year, and Myles Garrett is my early pick for Defensive Player of the Year next year. But
do you want me to show you the man who will be going back-to-back in Defensive Player of the Year's awards next season?
Mason Rudolph.
So funny.
No, actually,
You're real funny. You're real funny.
Oh, Daniel Jones won Defensive Player of the Year because he throws so many turnovers. Oh my god.
No, he fumbles
the football. All right. We'll move on to Nick here. Browns Chiefs. Your thoughts?
I have no sympathy for the Browns. None. I know they beat us. That wasn't them beating us. That was us imploding on ourselves. That first snap of the game, that was us. Because Marquise Pouncey, I don't even know what he was trying to do. Doing all that stuff. We go down 28 points. If we didn't do that, we would have won the game. You see how much we scored in the second half. But still, I hate the Browns. I hate Myles Garrett. I don't care that Mason Rudolph probably has a giant helmet-sized dent in his head right now. Doesn't matter. Yes, they kept it close, but that was only because Mahomes is gone. It's because when they were on the ground, that guy's over there twisting Mahomes' neck, which that should have been called. Yes, the Browns call the helmet was a terrible no call. It wasn't as bad as like the Des Bryant catch or the Saints-Rams PI no call. That was a very bad call in the playoffs. Terrible. But you can't say that they should have won that game when they didn't beat Chad Henne, whatever his last name is. They let Chad Henne rush on them, pass on them. Yes, the one interception he threw was pretty garbage looking. But how do you let that happen? That man is like 50 years old. Tell me how that happens. The Browns' defense is horrendous. The Chiefs' offense looked unstoppable until, again, Mahomes went out with the concussion, which is now stated. Hunter would love to hear this, that he is most likely 100% going to be able to play against the Bills. So, yay, Hunter. Woo! And the Browns just look terrible. The Browns need to go get some more defensive players because their defense is very weak. They have one of the best O-lines in the league. I can't argue that with Wyatt Teller, especially holding that line together.
Joel Bettine, but whatever.
Yeah,
I don't care about his last name.
Batonio. But they need to draft defense. The Chiefs look unstoppable. If Mahomes is able to play at 100% against the Bills, it's going to be a very good game.
Completely agree. We'll move to Andrew here. We'll give Hunter his last word since his team's going up against the Chiefs. Andrew.
I'm going to keep it pretty short and sweet. Rashard Higgins is one of the main reasons why they lost that game. I don't care about the helmet-to-helmet hit. If you dive for the pylon, regardless, you cannot let go of that ball no matter what, and you have to score. You fumble like that, they cost you the game. And, Bill Belichick teaches his players. Obviously, we all hate the Patriots, but he teaches his players not to do stuff like that. Because if Rashard Higgins holds onto the ball, it's still Brown's ball. If he doesn't reach out even and fumble the ball into the end zone, still Brown's ball. So, they could have been in it still, potentially won the game. But 3 words, anything is possible.
I mean, obviously. What else are you going to say? Yeah, Hunter, are you terrified of the Chiefs?
A little bit. Their defense doesn't really scare me that much because, I don't know. I think their defense is just pretty average, but obviously I don't know if Mahomes is going to be 100%. Obviously, because he had that nerve damage, and nerve damages are pretty difficult to fix, and it takes a lot of physical therapy for that. But and also he's coming off that toe injury too that he also suffered in that Browns game too. So I don't know how 100% he's going to be, and I don't even know if he's going to play. He probably will play, but he's not going to be fully 100%. But to be honest with you, that helmet to helmet was dumb. It should have been called. I don't know why they couldn't review it. And also, I think the touchback rule is one of the worst rules I've ever seen before. Because if the offensive player fumbles anywhere else, they get the ball back where it goes out of bounds. But obviously not the end zone because it's a dumb rule. Moving on, Browns should have won. It didn't happen. But the Chiefs are going to the AFC Championship game to play the Bills. So I can't do anything about it.
All right, final game, Saints Buccaneers, and it was the last game of Drew Brees' phenomenal career. So I think we can all tip a cap to Drew Brees for the amazing career that he had in the NFL. Gave us a lot of memories. Unfortunately, only got 1 ring, but that's that. I mean, Tom Brady headed to his first NFC Championship game, his 14th Conference Championship game. I mean, this dude's been on another level his entire career. That Bucs defense, though, it stepped up big time. Drew Brees had to make some plays at the end of the game. The Buccaneers just shut him down. Devin White got I think 2 picks or maybe just 1 pick, but Devin White.
He had 1 pick and he had a fumble recovery.
That's what it is. Okay, I knew he had 2 turnovers, forced turnovers, but I mean that Bucs defense stepped up big time, and it showed that Tampa Bay, they have the defense to win the whole thing. They've got the capability to win the whole thing on both sides of the football, offensive line, quarterback play, running game, wide receivers, defense. I mean, is there anybody? I mean, I said it. The Buccaneers are probably the only team that can beat the Green Bay Packers. They just went into the Superdome, knocked out the Saints in the playoffs. Andrew, I mean, we're going to try to incorporate here our Bucs Packers picks to try to save time here. First thoughts on the game, and then who's taking it home? Pax Buckers. What did I just say?
You said Pax Buckers.
I know I did.
What he just said.
Pax Buckers.
Bucks Packers.
No. We're calling it Pax Buckers. I'm sorry. All right, Andrew, give us your predictions on the pack. Andrew, give us your thoughts about the Buckers Saints game, and then give us your prediction on the Buckers Pax game.
Got it.
That was good. I can't believe I just did that.
Woo. Sorry, that made me laugh.
All right, so that was most likely Drew Brees' final game. The Saints were playing basically on one leg with Michael Thomas already being injured, Drew Brees being injured. It's kind of like a punch in the face, but the Saints gave it their all. They just couldn't get to it at the end. Drew Brees, one of my favorite QBs of all time. He went out there and he did his best, and he didn't perform like he should have. But, with all of his injuries, with his broken ribs and his punctured lung and everything, he gave his all. And, I think that's the way he's going to go out. I really think the Saints did a good job, even though they lost. But in terms of the Buckers-Pax game, I don't see anyone stopping Aaron Rodgers and the Pax in the NFC
baby.
Championship.
The Buckers and the Pax, baby.
Woo! Aaron Rodgers, the 2 vets. I'm going to take the Packers to take it home in the NFC Championship.
All right, I'm gonna make my quick pick here. I'll take the Buckers to win a close one. Hunter.
I don't want to go against Aaron Rodgers, but I don't want to go against Brady. I can't go against playoff Brady. I gotta take the Bucks in a super close game, even though it's at Lambeau. But I don't know. I think the Bucks defense might have an edge. Just I know the last time they played against each other, the Bucks absolutely killed the Packers, and I think they might do the same thing, but not like that. I think it'll be a closer game, but I think the Bucks will come out and go to Super Bowl 55 at home.
All right, Nick. Pax Buckers pick.
All right, so basically, what you're telling me here is you have two people, two godly entities fighting each other. You have playoff Tom Brady versus the pissed off Aaron Rodgers. The people are saying the Packers are stupid for choosing Jordan Love first round and A.J. Dillon second round. That's not true. That was all part of the plan.
They knew what they were
They
doing.
wanted to piss Aaron Rodgers off. That's why he's doing so good right now. They purposely drafted Jordan Love to fuel his anger. He's been unstoppable since, and I'm going to keep riding that train. I'm going to take the Packers to win this one. I think Aaron Rodgers outduels Brady. I think it'll happen, and I think Devontae Adams will have 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards.
All right, Ty. Should we remind him of what might happen? Nah, not today. Not anymore. Bucks, Packers. Who's your pick?
I got the Packers pretty handily by 14. I just gotta say, I think what's gonna happen is the Packers are just gonna get onto a fast start, and I don't think the Bucks are gonna be able to keep up with it. You know, it's gonna be like kind of the Rams game in a way, where the Packers are just too good to keep up. Well, like for the opposing offense to keep up, you know. And I just think Carlton Davis he locked down Slant Boy last week. He won't be able to lock down Devontae Adams, who is easily the best wide receiver in the NFL, and just pissed off Aaron Rodgers, like Nick said, and Devontae Adams is going to be too much. And they've also got a lot of good other weapons on offense too. And yeah, their defense can shut down Tom Brady. I think the Packers win pretty handily.
All right, we're going to try to go quickly here to wrap up the show. Bills, Chiefs, that's going to be our final topic that we do. I said this was going to be the AFC Championship matchup when I made my initial playoff predictions, and I said the Bills were going to win. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes is going to be 100% after that concussion and the nerve damage. It's really hard to come back after a week and be 100% from that. Hunter, I'm taking your Buffalo Bills to make it to the Super Bowl, but who knows? They might be going 0-5. Hunter, what's your pick? You taking your Bills? I'm guessing.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm going to take them, I know it's in Kansas City, but if Patrick Mahomes is 100%, I probably would take the Chiefs because I don't want to be biased or anything like that. But if I don't think, because obviously with the nerve damage, that's something that's very difficult to come back from. And same with the toe. Like, dude, did you see how we saw when Mahomes started? He took a shot, and when he came up, he needed help from people. Like, I know he walked back to the locker room, but like still, like going through a concussion protocol with nerve damage and a toe problem, there's no way he's going to be 100%. And that's the reason why. And the Bills are going to take advantage of that. So, and I still think it's going to be a close game regardless. But I think the Bills will come on top and go to Super Bowl 55 against the Bucs.
All right, Andrew, Chiefs, Bills, predictions.
The only factor in this game is healthy Patrick Mahomes versus not healthy Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, I think, will win this game. Obviously, he's not 100% no matter what, but I think he'll be good enough by the end of the week to be able to win this game. And I'm going to take the Chiefs to go back to the Super Bowl and play the Packers.
All right, Nick, Chiefs versus Bills. Your preseason prediction for the Super Bowl was Chiefs Saints. Now that's obviously not happening. Are you going to stick with your AFC winner? Go the Chiefs.
I don't know, but
Got to pick, man.
oh, if they make it to the Super Bowl, I don't know, because I do think the Chiefs. This is the hard part. Again,
He cut out again.
Oh my god!
How mad is he right now? All right, quickly, we got to wrap it up. If Nick comes back, maybe Ty predictions.
I got the Bills barely winning this game, and
I'm sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, Bills barely win this game, and I truly think that they're going to win their first ever Super Bowl. And I truly think that they're just Well, they will be able to beat Patrick Mahomes, who won't be 100%.
All right, Nick,
All right.
quickly.
All right, I'm sorry. But again, this game just depends on whether Patrick Mahomes is healthy or not. If Patrick Mahomes is healthy, both of these teams do not have above average defenses. Their defense is about the same level. One of them each has a weakness that the other doesn't. The Buffalo Bills have more of a run defense issue. They have a
You gotta be kidding me. His audio cut out. Nick. I can't. I mean,
do I keep timing out?
Yeah, dude,
we can hear you.
All right, I'll give you my pick. I think Patrick Mahomes will come back. I think Chiefs win this, and the Chiefs will lose the Super Bowl to the Packers.
Okay. All right, quick predictions. That's going to wrap it up for episode 3 of the Elite Sports Podcast.
Wait.
Thanks for...
Can we get a quick salute for Phillip Rivers?
Salute.
Oh, wow. Wow. Andrew with the disrespect to end episode 3. All right. Again, new episodes every week of the Elite Sports Podcast. We might have guests.
Clown. He's a clown.
Might have some guests coming on in the future, so stay tuned for that. And we're all signing off for now. For everybody, Andrew, Hunter, Nick, Tyler, I'm Michael McKenzie. Have a good one.
Bye.